Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about one of the most wasted characters in all of Star Wars. The leader of the droid army, the Jedi slaughterer, General Grievous. To people who have only seen the movies, Grievous was just made for a single fight scene to fill in some time and show off the CGI they could use. He could have been replaced by anyone and it wouldn't have mattered. However, to those who have seen the original 2D Clone Wars, General Grievous is one of the most badass Star Wars villains of all time. No joke. So in this video I'm going to go over his appearance in the 2D Clone Wars, and the main Clone Wars, and Revenge of the Sith, to explain how his character completely unravelled. If you watched my 2D Clone Wars video, which if you haven't, please go and watch it now, I avoided talking about Grievous, so I could make him the focus in this video. After Attack of the Clones, George Lucas had the idea to create an unstoppable droid leader, who isn't a Sith, but can wield a lightsaber. So he came to Genndy with the idea and some concept art, and Genndy added him to the 2D Clone Wars. In his first episode, it builds him up purposefully and perfectly. Let me explain. The episode opens with a Jedi communicating to Obi-Wan Kenobi that a group of Jedis have been cornered and surrounded, and they need backup. Then we see the Jedi collapse to the floor, dead. This instantly raises tension, as the Jedi is shot down to reveal an armada of super battle droids circling a destroyed ship. We then cut to a shadowy figure running through the wreckage. He arrives in an area filled with 6 Jedi, including himself, Mr. What About the Droid Attack on the Wookiees himself, Ki-Adi-Mundi, along with Aayla Secura, Shaak-Ti, a Padawan who looks like Shaggy, and 2 unnamed Jedi. They quickly discuss how this new droid general is unstoppable and invincible. This build-up is phenomenal, as we hear his bone-chilling voice warning them that they're going to die. You then hear him walking towards them, alone. The noise gets closer and closer, as more sweat builds up on the Jedi's faces. Like I said, this is so cool. It raises tension and creates fear in the audience, as we have watched Jedi tear through droids, winning every fight with relative ease in this show. But now, 6 Jedi are exhausted and terrified of a single man. Padawan Shaggy foolishly charges out of the ship, screaming as fear takes over him. Unfortunately, Grievous pounces down, completely crushing him under his feet, killing him immediately. Then you watch Grievous rise up, and his design is incredible. He is completely white, which helps him stand out. He is utterly dead-eyed, with large red bags hanging from his glowing yellow eyes. He then grows in height as metal claws grow out of him, creating a horrifying image. Grievous then jumps into the shadows, creating even more fear with the remaining Jedi. After a few moments of quiet, where all you can hear is the buzzing of the sabers, he finally appears again. You see Grievous hanging from the ceiling like Batman, and as he lands, the battle begins. All 5 Jedis attack him at once, but he spins his arms around, frantically blocking every attack, whilst pushing towards Ki-Adi, spinning like an insane Beyblade. Next, he does a handstand and holds his lightsaber with his feet, still countering the Jedi's attacks. Grievous then starts to take them out one by one, splitting them up. He strikes down on Ki-Adi, making him jump away. He then attempts to crush the Jedi, and most of them move away, besides one who holds his ground. This small sequence proves how powerful he is. He waits for the Jedi to strike his hand, and drops his saber so the Jedi misses. He then grabs the saber back and strikes the Jedi with both sabers, murdering him on screen. He next grabs 2 Jedi by the face with his clawed feet, throwing them into the rafters, leaving just Shaak-Ti and Ki-Adi-Mundi. He easily gets through Shaak-Ti, and then the episode ends with Ki-Adi about to duel the beast of a droid. Wow. This episode is so good. It portrays this new character as very intimidating and just so cool. It instantly makes him memorable. Just the way that before this, each time they battle droids, the Jedi win, but as soon as they face Grievous, they have their backs against the wall and get decimated. You see Grievous a few more times when he has some sparring matches with Dooku, which shows Dooku still beating Grievous, again helping prove how powerful all the Sith are. Then we get to see the events that take place right before Revenge of the Sith, and how Grievous kidnapped Palpatine. The entire battle has some standout moments, like Fordo in his new armour blasting down loads of droids with good camera work that looks handheld, and as well when Yoda claps his hands, destroying 2 huge ships. However, the main takeaway is the chase with Grievous, as he, along with a group of Magna Guards, chase Shaak Ti as well as 2 other Jedis who are trying to save Chancellor Palpatine. Grievous is a monster in this scene, tearing through clones and not giving up on the chase, even when he has his cape tied to a train and he gets driven away at hyperspeed. He keeps going, keeps chasing. Just to mention, it's obvious that Grievous doesn't know that Palps is Darth Sidious, so they have a really cool little dynamic. The whole sequence ends with Shaak Ti tied up and battered as the other Jedi are dead. As Grievous escapes with Palpatine, Mace Windu arrives and crushes his chest, creating an actual reason for Grievous's cough, which is pretty neat. Even though this show isn't technically canon anymore, I like to believe that this is what happened in the Battle of Coruscant, because it's just so good. Now I'm going to talk about the main Clone Wars and how dirty Grievous is done. He doesn't win a single lightsaber duel. He can't even kill Ahsoka when she doesn't have a lightsaber. He only kills 1 Jedi in the main Clone Wars, and they're a Padawan at that. This is pathetic compared to the 2003 Clone Wars, where he kills 4 Jedi in 1 episode and 2 more in the Battle of Coruscant, as well as defeating around 10. It's so weird to compare them, because they're just not the same clanker. I didn't mention this scene so I could compare it to a scene in 2008 Clone Wars. So in the original, the ARC troopers arrive to save Ki-Adi-Mundi, and Grievous faces down the clones, violently destroying them until a Republic dropship arrives, so he tactically retreats. Compare this to in 2008 Clone Wars, where he fails to fight a group of younglings and a weakened Ahsoka, and then they get in a ship and he screams that he will kill them, but they just start shooting at him, so instead of fighting back or even running away, he yeets himself onto the floor and crawls into a ball. Awesome. See, I don't like complaining about the main Clone Wars, because if you can't tell by my content, I really enjoy it, and think it's one of the best pieces of Star Wars media out there. But Grievous is just not good in it. Even I and the creators admit this, and they realise their mistake, because he isn't even in the later seasons. The final stage of Grievous's downfall is Revenge of the Sith. He is most well known for his appearance in this, and it sucks. Mostly. In the opening scene, Obi-Wan and Anakin meet Grievous, who is definitely smaller than I expected, and his cough is used to an annoying extent where it becomes a cheap gimmick. You don't see him being a strong force in this opening, just a coward who sends his guards to fight, which I guess was done to build up the reveals for his forearms, so I'm fine with it. Until the midway point, Obi-Wan is hunting down Grievous and finds him on Utapau. This moment is a great start to a battle. Kenobi brings his usual charm and charisma, and Grievous reveals what is under his cape. He grows in size, still not as big as in Clone Wars, and reveals his 4 arms, with an excellent monologue about how he has been trained in the Jedi arts. This is a brilliant setup, and all they had to do to make this encounter amazing was a mediocre lightsaber battle. That's all they needed. But instead of the 2 characters actually fighting, Grievous just kinda slowly marches towards him, spinning his hands around, which looks cool, but is really a dumb tactic. He then just allows Kenobi to cut off 2 of his arms, so he's back down to 2 lightsabers, which is just very disappointing. I wanted a battle with a full power Grievous. Imagine if he had all 4 arms, and he had to battle Anakin and Obi-Wan. That would be so much better, surely. And I guess because, it being Anakin destroys the story, replace him with Ki-Adi-Mundi. It would create a cool rivalry, as he has already faced Grievous. They could make it obvious to the audience who haven't seen the show that they've met before, but to those who have, it would be an awesome conclusion to his first appearance. The other part of the Grievous fight in Revenge of the Sith is just terrible. I thought it was so good as a child, but it's too reliant on CGI and barely has any sabers actually striking. It feels dragged out, and looks like a mess, ending it in Grievous being shot in the chest a few times, killing him. Which is a really disrespectful way to end a character who had so much potential and started out so freaking cool. So, yeah, that's my opinion on how Grievous was portrayed in the movies and shows. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.